and we are back with the Stockwell and Eldridge Show. I am Casey Thrash with the Eldridge and Stockwell team of RE/MAX Results. I'm standing in or sitting in for Jason Stockwell this morning.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge with RE/MAX Results.
Good morning, Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
And Luke Blair with Afterglow Studios.
So last segment, we kind of touched on space, obviously, and asteroids and getting resources from asteroids. And that just like sparked 1,000 questions in my brain for Luke. And I also want to start before I'll let you like get prepared a little bit. I want to ask Stephanie how in the world you have never seen Armageddon. It's such an iconic movie. That was like
I know. I think, and I've heard of it. I know.
I've heard of it.
No, I've heard of it, and I think it's one of those. I have a really challenging time watching. I'm a very high energy person, and every time I sit down to watch a movie, I doze off. I have to admit it. It's terrible. I get it from my dad. My dad has fallen asleep at both my brothers and my sister's weddings. We're this type of people. When I sit down, even in a theater, it's terrible. People hate going to a movie with me because they'll nudge me because all of a sudden I'm like. So it's not that I want. I mean, I probably would just have to buy it because, I mean, seriously, Redbox. I just had a Redbox movie for 9 days. I'm like, oh, I don't even know why I try to rent these because I get them and I fall asleep and I'll try again. It's like.
That's why you need Netflix,
Yes,
so that way you
streaming.
can just start it over again.
I know,
and
but I just
stream
never sit
it.
down and watch
Armageddon
movies.
is on Netflix right now.
Is it?
It is.
Where do you look, Casey? How about we do this? Why don't you come over? We'll have a girls' night. And we'll watch Armageddon. You can walk me through it and explain
Armageddon
it to me.
is the quintessential, my quintessential, high school movie. Like that was like one of
Have
the
you seen
big-
Legally Blonde?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody has seen that movie.
I was just trying to think of like a
maybe not everybody, but-
Barry's shaking his head no. Barry, the cameraman, is
Most
shaking his head no.
people.
Yeah.
Most people have seen Legally Blonde.
I'm just
or
kidding.
two
I was
or
trying to think
three.
of like a chick flick movie that maybe nobody else has seen that I have, but
Oh.
Thelma and Louise.
No, that's a classic. That's
Okay. Well, back to
Yes.
Armageddon. I'm sorry.
Okay,
So I
so-
will. I'm gonna. You can hold
Armageddon.
me to it. We'll watch it together. How about that?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so asteroids. What resources do we need from asteroids?
Well,
And how do we know what are in the asteroids of the resources that we need?
yeah, they have lots of ways of measuring what is the elemental composition of asteroids. So a lot of satellites go out and they can scan an asteroid or take a soil sample and analyze it and send it back, kind of like how the Curiosity rover is doing on Mars right now. So there's pretty good ways of figuring that stuff out. But, just natural resources in a way where I think being able to go and blow up an asteroid or drill an asteroid or mine an asteroid for rare earth elements like rhodium and things like that, or gold or platinum or whatever, is a great way to do it versus having to tear up and do it like open pit mining, let's say,
Right.
and planet Earth. So
Stop destroying our Earth. Go find asteroids. Pull in Armageddon.
see, I've always said I'm not an environmentalist. I'm just pro space travel.
Right.
So that's why I like it.
Okay.
The sooner we can get to space, the faster we solve all these problems. So
And you have worked on a lot of space type movies too. I
Yeah,
noticed,
yeah,
and
I've worked-
theaters as well.
It seems like I
Yes.
can't get away. Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. I've worked on a Sun movie. I've worked on, Space Junk, and now Space Next, and Armageddon.
Minority Report to me
Yeah.
is kind of involves space and
Well, if it's
AI, which I love.
Yeah.
That is
It was
such a
neat
great
film.
movie.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, I mean, if it's any consolation, when I do go to movies, I do stay and watch all of the credits and read the names that flip up on the screen. So I think that's important. People like yourself get credit for that. I seriously get irked, though, when I have gone to movies and everybody gets out and walks. I'm like, there's a lot of people like yourself who put so much work and make all the difference in the world of these movies,
Yeah.
and nobody stays to at least read their
Well,
names.
I think there should be a credits list on houses. So, like when you walk and buy a house, I think there should be a credits list on the
Yeah,
door.
who put in the windows,
Right, exactly.
right, who put in the
nailed
floor and who did the
Why
roof,
not,
right.
right? There's no difference. Why does our
Exactly.
industry get like all this, kudos for work?
I love it. But on that flip side, though, when you go to a movie, do you stay to watch? I mean,
Oh, man.
do you kind of
that's a tough
is
question.
it, I'm not trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not trying to say you're vain, but do you kind of sit there and go, okay,
my
when's
name.
Well,
my name
I-
come-
it-
that's me, everybody.
Back in the day, it's less that way now than, mostly since moving to Minnesota, it is TV commercial work or whatever. But this film, now I'm the director and producer of Space Next. So, yeah, I usually try to stick around. But, the list is pretty short because these films don't take the hundreds of people like the Hollywood movies I worked on. But I actually like watching the credits on the Hollywood films, even though I haven't been there for almost 15 years, because I recognize a lot of the I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, I worked with that guy. Oh yeah, look at him.
That's
My
kinda
old
fun.
roommate Jason McGatlin was one of the 5 producers on the new Star Wars films, and is now a VP at Lucasfilm. So,
Wow.
it's great to see.
I'm going to write that down. 6 Degrees of Separation. Jason McGlatlin. Hey, I know him. I know his friend. All of a sudden, I'm somebody now.
I haven't talked to him in like 5 years, but so it's good to see that, and because it is a lot of work. I mean, I think that's one thing that a lot of people, I think they realize it more nowadays than they used to, but there's just a massive amount of people that work on these films and are involved and make them happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to see that. And more, I've noticed it more here too, is that people stay in the theater after, and I've actually been pleasantly
I think it's
surprised.
just a courtesy thing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Hollywood's gotten smart about it too. They have that little snippet at the
Yeah.
end of like the Avengers or any of those movies where you
Right,
can
so
see
you
what
stay to
what
see if
might
there's
be
anything
next.
else.
Like
Yeah.
Deadpool, I of course have
Right.
seen that movie. Any Avengers
That started with
or
Ferris Bueller's
superhero.
Day Off.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
they
where it all
did.
started from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people missed that. Then the word gets out, and then everybody started
Yeah.
staying.
Yeah.
But well, I would say, in that, I was thinking then when we talked about earlier, like house next. Like, what are you seeing, Dawn, as far as I think we talked about a couple weeks ago, even, if people like listing their home or staging or whatever. What do you find? What are people looking for in housing? Like, what's the next thing in housing?
Oh boy. Well, let's see here. Well, we're going to use the technology that Luke has created, and we're going to start doing that in homes.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing right now is we had a listing that's been on the market for, it's probably like a couple weeks, 3 weeks. And all of a sudden, 3 offers come in at once. And it's like, okay. And they were not full price offers, which was very interesting. All 3 came in under. So that was something interesting. But a lot of people are very sensitive to the way that the updates are done on the homes. We're seeing that. We're seeing a lot of comments on odors within the home.
So when you say updates to the home, are you saying like when buyers are out looking, are they able to kind of see past the updates in the decor, or is that something that you're seeing that's really important to them? Like when they're walking in, they want to see the granite countertops, or do they just want to see the guts of the house and they can make
It is the
changes?
rare buyer today that sees the guts of the house. The buyers are very visual in today's market, and they want to see updates already done.
Really?
When the
Okay.
updates are not done, the homes are selling at a reduced price. Even though the guts of the house are impeccable, we're still seeing a lot of kickback on that all over. So Minneapolis, Edina, Bloomington, Plymouth, all those areas are being.
And maybe it's just kind of where we are as a society today. Everybody just wants things done. I feel like there's always maybe a little bit of that entitlement. Like, yeah, I just want to buy a house. And I know sometimes we see that. Jason, I know he loves those millennials. But yeah, kind of sometimes walking in and wanting everything already done for them, and which is kind of surprising.
Well, I think that life is really busy.
Yep.
Everybody is really busy, whether you have kids or it's work or your social
Sports,
life
yeah.
or family or like sport. Like people they just fill their time, and not a lot of people. These millennials you talk about, I happen to be on the older side of that generation, but they just want to walk in and say, "This is what I have." Like I want to walk in. I want it to be done. I want it to be ready. I don't want to have to do any work. I don't want to have to worry about anything, and that's the thing too, is that even, a house that gets flipped, maybe it got flipped and it's updated and it's nice and everything, but you don't necessarily know the bones of the house are going to be great, because just because you have granite countertops and new paint and fresh carpet and stainless steel appliances, that's all stuff you can put in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the furnace is working or the hot water heater or, anything that's behind the walls,
Is there
plumbing, electrical,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the house that you're not going to be able to walk into and be like, okay, I don't have to fix anything for 10 to 15 years.
And I think that the people are really savvy now. Like it's just like the film stuff. I talk to most people, they know a lot more about what we do. They look at materials, they look at things like, granite, quality of granite. There's different levels of it. There's, and I've dealt with a lot of this myself lately. And it's like, you recognize that. And I think a lot of people see that when they go into a home, they say, this shower is a building grade, or it's just a
Right, or the windows, they notice what brand of windows and so
Yep,
forth.
exactly.
Is there something you would say, like the top 1 or 2 things, like when you're meeting with clients who are looking to buy, like that seems to be a recurring theme. Like if we're looking for a house, we want this. I mean, maybe some advice to somebody who's, maybe thinking about selling their home. Like, hey, every time we talk to buyers, this is a recurring theme that they're looking for.
So one of the big things that buyers want are hardwood floors.
Really?
They want hardwood floors.
Actual hardware or hardware? Hard wood, or is it that,
It could be the floating, the engineered wood flooring.
Yeah. I
That's
forget what it's
acceptable
called,
as
Pergo
well.
or something. Okay.
Yep. So the other thing that we're seeing, and even if there's hardwood underneath the carpet, take the carpet off.
Really?
Absolutely. The buyers cannot visualize the hardwood floors under the carpet.
Good to know.
So
and is that a pretty easy thing to do?
It's very easy to do. You have to move furniture out of the room, but I mean, even just having one room exposed to show what the hardwood floors look like, because it's an unknown. Everybody, there could be stains on the floors. How much work do they need? Many times in Ramblers that are built in the 50s, the hardwood is untouched. They've had carpet on it since the
I was going
beginning.
to say, it's probably in
and
great
they're
condition,
gorgeous.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
we sold one in Richfield last year. She had lived in the house for 50 years. Hardwood floors, only owner of the house, carpet over everything, untouched, beautiful floors. The next owners went in, ripped up the carpet right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good advice. I'm not searching for a home. I'm happy, where I'm at, whatever. So, yeah, I'm just always curious.
I think the other thing is the layout. They want an open layout.
Okay.
That is the other popular thing, which is easy to do if you remove walls. We can. We'll talk more about that when we come back because we've got some ideas and suggestions.
I want
bring in, like,
I want meteorite countertops.
That would be really
we
cool.
get you get like asteroids. Or
Yeah,
something like
asteroid
that.
countertops. That's what it's
I was gonna say to get rid of a wall or something like that. Blow up. I don't know. I should just not talk space stuff because I have no clue what I'm talking about.
We will talk about it next segment.
Asteroids
We
game I
will be
played when
right
I was a
back.
kid.
This is the Stockwell and Eldridge Show.
Thanks for.